The crystal chandeliers of the Plaza Hotel ballroom glittered like stars trapped in a cage, casting a warm glow over the sea of tailored suits and elegant gowns. I stood there, my heart pounding in rhythm with the jazz band's sultry melody, clutching a champagne flute that felt like it might shatter in my grip. Then Alessandra, my fiancée, the woman I'd loved in shadows for years, turned to the microphone and announced to the crowd of New York's elite that our engagement was a sham, a cover for her family's expectations, leaving me, Cecilia, exposed and broken before them all. The words hung in the air like smoke from a gunshot, and I felt the room tilt. Whispers erupted around me, eyes darting like knives, slicing through the facade we'd built so carefully. How had we gotten here? Just hours ago we'd shared a stolen kiss in the coat room, her lips promising forever, but now her betrayal burned hotter than any fire. I fled to the balcony, the cool night air slapping my face as tears blurred the Manhattan skyline. My mind raced back to the beginning, to that rainy afternoon in Greenwich Village where we'd first met. Alessandra, with her sharp wit and commanding presence, had been everything I wasn't: confident, unapologetic, the heir to a real estate empire that demanded perfection. I was the quiet artist from a conservative Midwestern family, scraping by on freelance illustrations, hiding my truth behind polite smiles. She'd approached me in that cozy bookstore, her dark hair framing a face that could launch 1,000 deals. "That book's overrated," she'd said, nodding at the novel in my hands. "Try this one instead." Her recommendation led to coffee, then dinners, then nights tangled in sheets where we'd whisper dreams of a life together. But always there was the shadow of her family, the Valentinos, old-money Italians who viewed anything outside heteronormative bliss as a stain on their legacy. In my heart I knew the risks. Alessandra's mother, Elena, had drilled into her the importance of appearances, of marrying well to secure alliances. "We're not just a family, we're an institution," Elena would say, her voice laced with steel. Alessandra rebelled in private, but publicly she played the part. When she proposed to me 6 months ago, in a hidden corner of Central Park, it felt like victory. "We'll make it work," she'd vowed. "I'll handle my family." But doubts crept in like ivy on a wall. Late-night arguments where she'd pace our loft, phone in hand, fielding calls from her father about potential suitors. Men, always men. "It's just talk," she'd assure me, pulling me close. Yet I felt the fracture lines forming. My own family back in Ohio knew nothing. I'd fed them stories of a roommate, to avoid the sermons about sin and salvation. The weight of those lies pressed on my chest, making every breath a negotiation. That night at the party, as guests toasted what they thought was our union, Alessandra's eyes had avoided mine. I chalked it up to nerves, but when she took the stage, her voice steady as a judge's gavel, she dismantled us. "This engagement," she said, "was a mistake born of pressure. Cecilia deserves better than a life of pretense." The crowd gasped. I froze. Was this her way of protecting me? Or abandoning me? I confronted her in the hallway later, away from prying eyes. "What the hell was that?" I hissed, my voice cracking. She looked at me, eyes glistening. "I couldn't do it anymore, Cece. My family's threats, they said they'd cut me off. Ruin your career if we went through with it." Her words stung like salt in a wound. So this was her choice. Sacrifice us to save her inheritance? The drive home was silent, the city lights streaking past like accusations. In our apartment I paced the living room, my mind a storm of what-ifs. Had I been naive to think love could conquer all? Alessandra collapsed on the couch, head in hands. "I thought I was strong enough," she murmured. But seeing my parents' faces, knowing they'd destroy everything, her vulnerability pierced me, but anger simmered beneath. She'd humiliated me publicly, turned our love into a spectacle. Sleep evaded me that night. I lay staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment. The first time she'd said, "I love you," under the Brooklyn Bridge, the wind carrying her words like a promise. The fights over her reluctance to come out, my pleas for honesty met with deflections. "Timing," she'd say. "We need the right timing." But time had run out, and now I questioned if her love was ever real or just a rebellion against her gilded cage. Morning brought no relief. My phone buzzed with messages, friends shocked, family oblivious but sensing something amiss from my terse replies. Alessandra tried to explain again over coffee, her hands trembling. "I did it for us," she insisted. If we married under duress, it would poison everything. But her logic felt hollow. She'd chosen fear over us, and that betrayal gnawed at my soul. I needed space, so I wandered the streets, ending up in Washington Square Park. Sitting on a bench, I watched couples stroll hand in hand, envying their ease. Why couldn't that be us? The societal chains, her family's conservatism, the judgmental whispers in boardrooms, the fear of being othered in a world that preached acceptance but practiced exclusion. It all converged in my chest, a knot of rage and sorrow. When I returned, Alessandra was packing. "I'm going to my parents for a bit," she said softly. "To figure this out." Panic surged. Was this the end? I grabbed her arm. "Don't leave like this. Fight for us." Her eyes met mine, conflicted. "I am fighting, Cece. By facing them head on." But as the door closed behind her, doubt flooded in. Had I pushed too hard or not enough? The days blurred into a haze of isolation. I threw myself into work, sketching furiously, each line a catharsis. Friends called, offering sympathy, but their words echoed empty. "You deserve someone who chooses you openly," one said. But love wasn't that simple. It was messy, fraught with compromises. Or was it? My inner turmoil raged. Was staying hidden a betrayal of self, or a necessary shield? Then came the call from Elena Valentino herself. "Cecilia," her voice dripped with faux concern, "I think it's best if you distance yourself from Alessandra. For everyone's sake." The audacity ignited me. "This isn't about you," I snapped. "It's about us." She laughed, cold and calculated. "Everything is about family, dear. Learn that now." That conversation fueled my resolve. I couldn't let them win. But what did winning look like? Confrontation? Surrender? The choices loomed, each with its price. Alessandra's absence stretched like a chasm, the apartment echoing with memories. I'd wake reaching for her side of the bed, only to find cold sheets. Work suffered. My illustrations lacked the vibrancy they once had, as if my heart's palate had dulled. Friends urged me to move on, but how could I when every corner of New York reminded me of her? Flashbacks haunted me. Our first real date at a hidden speakeasy in the East Village, where we'd laughed over cocktails, her hand brushing mine under the table. "You're the only one who sees me," she'd confessed, her alpha facade cracking to reveal the woman yearning for authenticity. I'd fallen hard, drawn to her strength and fragility. But cracks had appeared early. At a family dinner months into our relationship, Elena had eyed me suspiciously. "Cecilia, what do your parents do?" she'd asked, her tone probing. I'd stammered about my father's hardware store, my mother's church volunteering, omitting the part where they'd disown me if they knew. Alessandra had changed the subject, but later in the car she'd admitted, "They expect me to marry someone suitable." Suitable meaning a man? "Ide prasa, urtflikaring." She'd nodded, gripping the wheel. "It's tradition, Cece. But I won't let it define us." Her words were a bomb then, but now they felt like excuses. I decided to reach out, texting her, "We need to talk." Her reply came hours later. "Meet me at our spot in Central Park tomorrow." Hope flickered, fragile as a flame in wind. The park was alive with joggers and tourists, but I felt isolated. Alessandra arrived looking haggard, dark circles under her eyes. We sat on our bench, the one where she'd proposed. "I've been arguing with them non-stop," she said, voice raw. "Dad threatened to remove me from the company board if I don't straighten out." My heart ached for her, but resentment bubbled. "And you? What do you want?" She hesitated. "You. But the cost." That pause spoke volumes. The cost to her status, her security. Was I worth it? We walked, tension simmering. "You humiliated me," I accused. "Made me the villain in their eyes." She stopped facing me. I thought outing the lie would free us, force a real conversation. But her plan backfired. Now her family saw me as the temptress leading her astray. As we parted, she kissed my forehead. "Give me time." Time, the thief that had stolen so much already. Back home, my own family's call came. Mom's voice cheerful at first, then probing. "Who's this Alessandra I see on your social media?" "A friend." Panic gripped me. "Just a colleague." I lied, the words tasting bitter. How long could I hide? The pressure built, a dam ready to burst. I confided in my best friend Jamie, over brunch in Chelsea. It's like I'm living two lives, I admitted. Jamie, openly gay, shook their head. Hiding erodes you, Cece. Look at what it's doing. Their words resonated, stirring guilt. Was I complicit in this deception? Alessandra called that night, frantic. Mom found our letters. She's furious. The letters, intimate notes we'd exchanged early on. Elena confronted her, calling our love unnatural. Invoking church and society. She wants me to see a therapist, Alessandra whispered. Rage surged through me. Fight back. But inwardly I questioned if I could. My own upbringing echoed Elena's views. Bible verses drilled into me about morality. Doubt crept. Was our love wrong? No, I rejected that, but the seed lingered. We met secretly in a Brooklyn cafe, away from Manhattan's glare. I can't lose you, she said, tears falling. But I can't lose them either. The ultimatum hung unspoken. Choose. That meeting ended in an embrace, but fractures deepened. I began therapy myself, unpacking layers of internalized shame. The therapist asked, "What price are you willing to pay for authenticity?" I didn't know. Social whispers reached me. Gossip in art circles about the scandalous Valentino engagement. Colleagues eyed me with pity or curiosity. Isolation grew, my world shrinking to work and worry. Then a turning point. Alessandra showed up at my door, suitcase in hand. I'm staying here. Screw them. Joy surged, but caution tempered it. For how long? She smiled weakly. As long as it takes. We rebuilt tentatively, nights of talks delving into fears. Her childhood under scrutiny, mine in repression. But external pressures mounted. Her father cut her off financially, forcing her to dip into savings. It's worth it, she insisted, but I saw the strain. My family visited unexpectedly, a surprise trip to check on me. Panic ensued. Alessandra hid in the bedroom as I feigned normalcy. Mom's eyes scanned the apartment. This place feels lived in by two. Sweat beaded on my brow. Roommates out, I mumbled. After they left, Alessandra emerged, hurt. Still hiding me? The accusation stung. I'm not ready, I confessed. Hypocrisy burned. I demanded her honesty while withholding mine. Arguments escalated. You're no better than my family, she shouted one night. At least they own their bigotry. Her words cut deep, exposing my cowardice. In the quiet aftermath I pondered. Was love enough without courage? The answer eluded me, but the cost of inaction loomed. The financial strain hit hard. Alessandra, once the breadwinner with her executive salary, now freelance consulting gigs, her pride wounded. I took extra commissions, but bills piled up. Our loft, once a sanctuary, felt like a pressure cooker. Her family didn't relent. Elena sent letters pleading then threatening. Think of your future. One read. This phase will pass. Phase, the word demeaned our love, reducing it to a whim. I urged Alessandra to confront them directly. Go see them. Make them understand. She agreed, scheduling a dinner at their Upper East Side townhouse. Come with me, she said. Terror gripped me, but I nodded. Time to face the dragons. The evening arrived, tension thick as fog. Elena greeted us coolly, her husband Marco silent but stern. Over appetizers, small talk frayed. Then Elena dove in. Alessandra, this lifestyle isn't you. We've raised you better. Alessandra's hand found mine under the table. It's not a lifestyle, Mom. It's who I am. Elena's eyes narrowed. And her? She's dragging you down, pointing at me like an exhibit. I spoke up, voice steady despite the quake inside. I love your daughter. That's not a crime. Marco scoffed. In our world it might as well be. Think of the business partners, the church community. The debate raged, voices rising. Elena invoked God, society, tradition. Alessandra countered with stories of hidden pain, suppressed identity. I've been miserable pretending, she admitted. Tears flowed, but resolve held. We left without resolution, the air charged. In the cab, Alessandra leaned on me. That was brutal. But a spark ignited. Her standing up felt like progress. Yet backlash followed. Marco froze her trust fund access, citing moral clauses. Friends distanced themselves, Whispers of family drama circulating. My career suffered. A major client pulled out, hinting at reputation concerns. Internal conflicts intensified. I dreamed of telling my family, but fear paralyzed. What if they rejected me? The thought of losing them mirrored Alessandra's plight, binding us in shared agony. We attended a support group for LGBTQ+ couples facing family rejection. Hearing others' stories, dissownments, reconciliations, stirred hope and dread. One woman shared, "I lost everything but gained myself. Was that the trade-off?" Alessandra grew bolder, posting subtle affirmations online, testing waters. Responses mixed. Support from allies, vitriol from trolls. Society's mirror reflected ugliness, amplifying our isolation. A betrayal loomed. Alessandra's ex, a man from her past straight phase, resurfaced. Thomas, charming and connected, called her for advice. She met him for coffee, assuring me it was platonic. But jealousy gnawed. "Why him?" I asked. "He's safe," she admitted. "No judgment." That admission hurt. Was I the complicated choice? Doubts festered. Then my breaking point. A family video call where Dad asked about my love life. "Anyone special?" Mom chimed. The lie stuck in my throat. "No, imutarat." Alessandra overheard. Disappointment etching her face. "We can't keep this up," she said later. "It's killing us." She was right. The deception eroded trust, turning love into a battlefield. I decided to come out to my family. Drafting an email, words poured, pain, truth, plea for understanding. Hitting send felt like jumping off a cliff. Their response came swift. A call, voices shocked. "This isn't you," Mom cried. "Pray about it." Dad silent then. "We love you, but..." The but hung heavy, conditional love exposed. Heartbroken, I turned to Alessandra. They might never accept. She held me. Then we build our own family. But her eyes held shadows, her own losses fresh. Social pressures mounted. At a gallery opening, whispers followed us. The Valentino scandal. Alessandra stood tall, but I shrank. Was visibility worth the scrutiny? A moral quandary arose. Alessandra considered compromising, attending a family event solo to appease. "Just once," she said. Betrayal stung. "You're choosing them again." The argument exploded, doors slamming. In solitude, I questioned everything. Right versus wrong blurred in love's gray areas. Sacrifice for family honor, or self for love. The toll mounted, each choice a scar. Reconciliation tentative, but fractures remained. Highs of intimacy contrasted lows of doubt. Society's gaze, family's pull, constant tugs. Then a twist. Elena reached out to me privately. "Meet me." Alone. Curiosity won. At a neutral cafe, she pleaded. Let her go. For her sake. Her vulnerability surprised. Fear of losing her daughter. "I can't," I replied. "She chooses." Elena's tears fell. Choices have consequences. Her words echoed a warning. Back with Alessandra, I shared. She's scared. Empathy flickered, but resolve hardened. The battle lines drawn, costs escalating. The confrontation with Elena lingered. A seed of discord. Alessandra obsessed over it. What did she really say? Paranoia crept, trust fraying. "She offered money to leave you," I confessed. Shock then fury. "That bitch." She stormed to her parents unannounced. I waited anxiously, hours ticking. She returned bruised, not physically but soul deep. "They disowned me," she whispered. "Said I'm no longer a Valentino." Devastation hit. I held her as sobs racked her body. "It's my fault," I murmured. "No," she insisted. "It's theirs." But guilt gnawed. Had my presence forced this? Financially, we teetered. Alessandra job hunted, facing rejections laced with bias. "Your personal life is distracting," one interviewer hinted. Discrimination veiled as concern. My family's silence deafened. No calls, no emails. The void ached, a phantom limb. I threw myself into art, creating pieces raw with emotion, abstracts of fractured hearts, selling modestly but cathartically. Alessandra's mood darkened. Late nights out. Networking. I suspected more. One evening she came home tipsy, lipstick smudged. "Who?" I demanded. Thomas, she admitted. Just a kiss. I was lost. Betrayal crashed like waves. How could you? Screams echoed, accusations flying. You're pulling away, she countered. Hiding your pain. Truth stung, we'd both retreated. The fight ended in tears, promises to try harder. But damage lingered, intimacy strained. Moral dilemmas swirled. Forgive infidelity born of pain? Or end it? Society amplified wounds. News of anti-LGBTQ+ bills, protests, reminders of broader battles. Friends shared stories of acceptance, envy stirring. Why not us? A turning point. My sister called, breaking family silence. I support you, she said. Mom and Dad. They're struggling. A crack of hope. I shared with Alessandra, her envy palpable. At least someone. Jealousy bred resentment. Your family might come around. Mine never will. Arguments reignited, old wounds reopening. Then a damaging choice. Alessandra considered reconciling with her family by downplaying U.S. Temporary, she said. To regain footing. Outrage boiled. You're betraying us. The word hung betrayal, our recurring ghost. She left for a trial dinner with them, sans me. Hours later, texts. It's going well. Jealousy and fear mixed. When she returned, changed, distant. They want me back, but conditions. What conditions? Dread filled me. End things with you. The ultimatum delivered coldly. Heart-shattering, I demanded. Choose. Tears streamed. I can't lose everything. Her words a knife twist. I packed a bag, fleeing to Jamie's. It's over, I sobbed. Solitude brought clarity and agony. Had love failed or we? Days blurred in grief. Alessandra's calls unanswered, my resolve wavering. Inner monologues raged. Was her choice cowardice or survival? Mine strength or selfishness? Reaching out, we met neutrally. I regret it, she said. But the pressure. Excuses felt thin. We both paid prices, I replied. But you chose wrong. Parting felt final, yet longing persisted. Society's role loomed. Had acceptance existed, would this happen? Amoral reconing. Contact Elena, pled? No dignity held. Instead, I focused on self. Therapy deepened, art flourished. Exhibitions brought acclaim, independence growing. Alessandra faded from circles. Rumors of her straightening out. Pain freshened. Then a surprise. She appeared at my show. I left them for good. Hope flickered. Too late. I asked. Reunion tentative but scars deep. Trust rebuilt slowly, each step a choice. Yet doubts. Was this real or desperation? Reconciliation brought fragile peace. We moved to a smaller Brooklyn apartment, shedding Manhattan's ghosts. Alessandra started therapy, unpacking family trauma. I did the same, confronting internalized biases. But healing wasn't linear. Flashbacks to the party humiliation triggered arguments. You exposed me, I'd accuse. To save us, she'd retort. Cycles of blame, forgiveness. Society's gaze softened in progressive Brooklyn, but echoes remained. Pride events attended, hands held publicly. A small victory, hard won. My family thawed slowly. Mom's call. We're trying to understand. Dad's silence broke with a letter. Love you always. Tears of relief. Alessandra's family remained estranged. Elena's occasional olive branches rejected. They don't get to dictate, she declared. Strength emerged, her alpha renewed in authenticity. Career rebounds. Alessandra launched her own firm, defying odds. My art gained traction, themes of identity resonating. Yet mouthwan lingered. A dinner with friends sparked debate. Family over love? Alessandra argued balance. I self first. Tensions simmered. A crisis hit. Alessandra's health scare, stress-induced panic attacks. Hospital vigil forced reflection. I almost lost you, I whispered. Never again. Recovery bonded us but revealed vulnerabilities. I betrayed you with Thomas, she confessed fully. Forgiveness tested. Hold grudge or release? I chose release but warily. One more mistake. Unspoken threat. Social activism drew us. Volunteering for LGBTQ+ rights. Channeling pain into purpose. Marches, speeches, empowerment. But a final twist, Elena's illness. Cancer diagnosis. Alessandra torn. Should I go? Moral quagmire. Forgive for closure or stand firm? She went alone. Returned conflicted. She apologized. Sort of. Partial redemption but damage irreversible. Our love evolved deeper for the trials. Weddings discussed but cautiously. When ready, we agreed. Years condensed into moments. Shared laughs, quiet nights. But scars reminded the prices paid. In the end we stood together resilient. Yet questions lingered. Had we chosen right?